What is going on, my beautiful people? I am so glad you are joining me today to make a fishing lure. We are going to make a buzzbait in the shape of a Pac-Man ghost today. We're tracing around Inky, but we are going to be making Pinky, and I trace around it on the front side. Then I flip it over and trace it on the other side, and it transfers the pencil onto the wood. Not the most artistic thing in the world to be tracing, but believe me, it's going to look better than if I freehanded it. And that's just barely cheating. So don't hold it against me, please. We're making a buzz bait, which is a topwater bait that you reel in kind of quickly. You don't have to reel this one super quickly because it's going to float. We're not going to add any weight to it. That's part of the neat thing about this buzz bait. You can bring it however fast or slow you want to, and it makes a big wake on top of the water. Makes fish mad, bass for the most part, and they strike it. It's really fun to fish with. You can see them hit it. It's really neat. So we're going to try to make that today out of, I think this is just poplar. Not 100% sure. Is Pac-Man the best game ever invented or what? I remember the first time I ever played Pac-Man. There was a place in Walnut Ridge, Arkansas. I can't remember if it was, I think it was the Davy Crockett, or it may have been the Alamo Hotel and the Davy Crockett restaurant or Daniel Boone restaurant. I can't remember, but they had a game room off the side of this thing, and this game room had the first set of video games I had ever seen. And I remember thinking, who owns this place, and why do they ever go home? Why wouldn't you just sleep up here and play these video games? I never got to have a birthday party there, but my friends had birthday parties there, and they would put the games on free play, and I could not even comprehend the ability to just play these games endlessly. But it was so cool, and I loved it, and I was in love with Pac-Man from that. Pac-Man still holds up today. People still play it. It's fun. It was created as a response kind of to the violent games. And when I say violent, I mean like Space Invaders, where you shoot stuff. They wanted a game that was a little less masculine, and they wanted to appeal to the ladies. And apparently, um, something that spends all its time eating and chasing ghosts appealed to ladies, but it worked. The power pellets were inspired by Popeye, my favorite cartoon. I loved Popeye when I was growing up. I loved it when he would talk under his breath a little bit. He is so politically incorrect; it's pathetic. He smokes. He uh, he gets bullied, but then he beats up a bully and is always dragging olive oil around everywhere. It's I don't think it holds up as well as Pac-Man, to be honest. But if you don't like to sand stuff, you don't need to make fishing lures because that's all I do. I just sand stuff and then dust my clothes off. That is 24/7. We're going to find a good spot to put the hook hangers here. Looks like I went to sleep there for a second. Nope, there we go. Pac-Man in Japan started out as Puck-Man and changed to Pac-Man, I think, for the English version. Also, his shape was partially inspired by a pizza sitting on a table with a slice out of it. The creator said that that was a partial inspiration. I don't know how that's a partial inspiration, but it was. I remember when the Pac Man table came out, it's just the same game but laid down flat, and you can play against someone even though you're both just playing one person at a time. Is that blurry or is that my eyes? This is how I make my hook. Hang a little wire over this nail I have in my work area and twist them and then trim them up. I'm always scared that somebody's going to catch a huge fish on one of my lures, and this thing is going to pull out, and they're going to hate me forever. But I promise, just a little bit of super glue in there, and putting that hook hanger in there like that, and it holds so tight. I pull on it with pliers, I cannot pull it out. So I'm praying that these things are always faithful, but so far they have been. I have to think that the weakest link will always be the fishing line. That's me getting super glue on my finger, which will be there for 3 days and then come off with great difficulty. Putting this bottom one in, it's hard to decide whether you want to go north and south or east and west or hamburger, hot dog. There's hot dog. I think that way is hamburger. I think that way was the right choice. Makes it easier to put the hook on there. Now let's cover the whole thing in super glue. Waterproof it. Water is the enemy of fishing lures. It makes them heavy, it makes them rot. So put a little super glue on there to seal it. The first time we'll seal it with epoxy later on, but I hit the wrong stinking button on my camera and I did not get a video of me doing the epoxy on this lure. So frustrating. Do you know that I think there's like 250 something levels of PacMan, and there is a high score you can get. There's like one score. If you eat every ghost, every piece of fruit, you can get to the point where you can't get any higher score. And there has been a guy that has gotten that. He has a perfect PacMan game. And I don't know if you've ever seen how fast it gets going. Just 20 levels in. It is so fast. But this guy got the absolute perfect score. He has no friends. He's never been on a date, but he can crush PacMan. I think, is PacMan AI? Like, I don't think you can get a pattern. I think that it doesn't do the same thing every time, which makes it incredibly cool. Also, I'm pretty sure PacMan corners better, and he's a little faster than a ghost. But the main thing is that he takes corners faster than the ghosts do. Or maybe that's not correct. I'm not sure. Trying to make some pink here. You want your paint for airbrushing, you want it to be about the viscosity of milk so it will spray well. As you can see here, I have ranch dressing. Now I'm really hungry. Should not have sprayed it right at it first. You see the two little dots I put on there? Rookie mistake. But it'll cover up fine. Won't be a problem. Airbrushing is a lot of fun. I think I could be a makeup artist. Have you ever seen those airbrush makeup things? No, I probably couldn't be. It's not very smooth when I do it like that. Let's get a little paint on this baby. We're making Pinky, like I said. There's Pinky, Inky, Clyde, and somebody else. What's the other guy's name? You're yelling at the screen right now. There's a heat gun, the best friend of any airbrush. All right, now we're doing eyes, and I love using like a pencil eraser whenever I'm making fish eyes. Sometimes I use fake eyes, sometimes I paint them on. I wish my ginormous hand wasn't in the way for you to be able to see what just happened. Oh, seemed like a lot of work on that one. It seems a little small there too. Don't worry, I'm gonna take care of that. This is nerve-wracking, even to watch. And don't worry about the little humps in the middle. You'll see later on, whenever by the time they get epoxy, it all flattens out in the wash. Still not satisfied with that eye. Let's make it a little bigger. That was terrifying, but it worked out okay. Now let's get a pupil. I believe it's called a pupil. Nice. Comes right to life with that. Uh-oh. Little small. Whew. Believe we got it. I think next time you see this, it will have epoxy on it. I'm so sorry I hit the wrong button. Yes, it is shiny. Epoxy makes it glassy, shiny and hard. And sometimes epoxy is so temperamental. Sometimes it wants to be sticky even after it's done. Such a difficult thing to work with. These are my pliers that I got from Amazon. They're jewelry pliers. They're pink handled, using pink handled pliers, working on a pink lure. But I promise I'm still incredibly manly. Tighten all this stuff up. See how his eyes flattened out when they got epoxy? That's the most organized thing in my life. My little box of hardware. Here comes a little pink bead, which again looks like a very feminine thing, like I'm making jewelry. This very well at this point could be an earring. I can't wait to get hooks on it to make it look more manly. I'm having some difficulty with my orangutan hands getting that blade on there, but it spins like a champ. One more bead and twist it up on top to have a place to tie the line on. I'm going to take this and test it out on the water in a few minutes, but I do not catch a fish. I don't want you getting your hopes up too high. Or is it better to just wonder? Maybe I catch fish, maybe I don't. I just want to say it's really hard to catch fish in the Cumberland River where I was fishing, apparently. There's good old Pinky. It's got a nice little spin to it. Now let's put a hook on there. These little pliers open up that ring. Maybe you'll be able, yeah, there you go. You put a hook on there and it falls off and you step on it. It's a miserable day. That's usually the way this goes. Well, yeah, but I didn't step on it yet. Sorry for stained hands and cuts and all that stuff. But I'm telling you, I'm not a jewelry maker. I'm a fishing lure maker. My hands are going to get dirty from time to time, people. Everybody just chill out. Let's get that on there. Looks great. Let's test this baby out. Let's see what she'll do. Not like that on the water. Now we're cooking. Mighty Cumberland River below Cheatham Dam. I need a new fishing rod. If anybody's interested in Father's Day presents for me, zoom in on that baby. Thank you. It's got a nice little warble to it. Looks like a fish should hit that. Any self-respecting bass should get mad enough to come up and eat a pink ghost that's swimming across the top of the Cumberland River for some reason. I have no idea. I do know this. You guys are the best. Thanks for watching, liking, subscribing, belling, all that stuff. You're the best.